College of St. Benilde Blazers and the JRU Heavy Bombers in NCAA Season 98 trended online, but for all the wrong reasons. Heavy Bombers forward John Amores lost his cool and, as you can see, ran an attack the bench of College of St. Benilde. The incident happened yesterday, Tuesday, at the Philoil Eco Oil Center in San Juan City in NCAA Season 98. The Blazers were up by 20 points at this point in the final period. Roughly 3 minutes left in the game when Amores and Benilde's CJ Flores got entangled in a rebound play. The two were initially separated, but Amores then ran and charged to the Benilde bench. He was then escorted out. Amores went after Mark Sanko and also landed punches on Jimboy Pasteran and Tane Davis, as well as other players of CSB. Well, cooler heads stepped in and Amores was eventually escorted out of the basketball court. As you can see, Mancom member Mr. Paul Supan also trying to restrain John Amores. Game officials decided to stop the game to prevent further tension. Amores was then locked inside the locker room as well. Amores also figured in an altercation with Letran's Kobe Monje back in September. The JRU Heavy Bomber was also involved in a preseason scuffle last July when he punched UP's Mark Hill Belmonte. Ironically, in 2018, Amores was awarded the NCAA Sportsmanship Trophy back in the juniors division in season 84 in 2018. Season 94 in 2018, that is. Well, now joining us to go all out on this story, it is trending online. We have former Sports Desk anchor and now College of St. Benilde head coach. He's doing so well, by the way, leading the Blazers to a great season. We have head coach, there he is, familiar face here in CNN Philippines. Kakagising lang yata, Charles Tew. Coach Charles Tew, good morning.
Hi, Andre. Good morning. It's been a long night. Sakit sa ulo talaga. But thank you for having me. Good to see you guys in the CNN family as always.
First of all, thank you, Coach, for agreeing to do this interview. I know it's a delicate issue. It's been trending, as I said, online for all the wrong reasons. The game was pretty much over. 3 minutes, you're up 20 in that game. Sige, Coach, let's take it kasi I've also been seeing your tweets, reading your tweets, and I know it's been a long night, as you said. Ang daming kumakausap sa'yo, ang daming nangyari after that, and it was a long wait as well after when nag-stoppage yung game, nag-antay kayo. Everything happened in a blur. Ang bilis ng mga pangyayari. Pinag-uusapan nga siya online and I was watching it nung nangyari na. I was trying to recall what happened. Pakikwento from your perspective, Coach Charles, how it all happened from your point of view. From the bench, ano bang nangyari up until na-decide na nga ng Mancom, ng Management Committee ng NCAA and Commissioner Tonichi Puhante saying, stop na natin yung game. Kwento mo as much as you can, Coach Charles. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, to the play that happened before, actually, Amores got entangled with Chris Flores. Nga, you're right. But actually, there was nothing called until he kicked Chris Flores. That's when the referee stepped in, and I believe they were ready to be called for a technical foul, to call him for a technical foul. Here, you see them both trip. But then Flores stood up. Syempre, the camera didn't pan. He kicked Flores. So the referee saw that. And then when he gets up, he's gonna bump the referee. You can see it here. He's gonna bump the referee. And then after, susugurin na niya yung referee. So, dun pa lang medyo wild na, nakakatakot na. I mean, you don't see that happen normally.
Ito, sabi mo pa nga dito,
shocking to me.
Coach, sabi mo pa nga dito, relax. Di ba? Tama ba ako? Parang
Yeah, for sure. I tell my players, make sure don't get anything kasi tapos na yung laban eh. I mean, we're trying to make the Final Four. We don't want any fights, anything like that. I mean, you look at him, he wanted to attack the referee. So I was shocked, actually, to be honest. And I commend Sir Paul Supan, their board member. He's telling him to get back to his place. And he came down from the stands to make sure everything is quieted down. And then, but yun lang, unfortunately, I think what happened was after that incident, there was somebody from behind the CSB bench, a fan who was maybe heckling him, and that's when he snapped and just came charging at our bench, which caught everybody by surprise. I think we did have a player throw a punch at him, but at the same time, I guess, what are you supposed to do? He's come. It's like my analogy would be if there's a bad person charging to your house, attacking your family, and you're just gonna stand there, let him punch you. And it's funny because you see the coaches, they were stopping, and pushing our players out instead of trying to stop him. So I'm like, what's this? What's going on? And
Yeah.
he hit two guys who were standing, not doing anything. You know, I'd understand him punching the one person who threw a punch at him, but he punched two guys who were not doing anything and tried to go for Oxon, the third
Si
guy.
Oxon, no, si
Wala
Oxon,
nang gumagawa. Iniiwas
yung naka-mask.
So,
Oh,
yun
nakita.
na medyo...
Yeah. Coach,
Oo.
wait lang.
Yeah.
Ganito, kasi I was also the commentators on board yesterday, si Anton Rojas and si Bo Belga. Ironic na si Big Bo, but they did a fantastic job, by the way, trying to trying to narrate what happened. Sabi nila, what they saw daw, yun nga, fan, pero may mga players ba, yun sa likod ng bench, kasi yun yung sinasabi from the side of JRU, na yung someone gave the finger to I believe, kung kay John
Not our
Amores.
player. That's not our players
Okay.
for sure. It was the fan behind, but they're seated behind the bench. Alam naman sa Phil Oil Arena that those two rows are very close to the bench. And he was, actually, it seemed like he was charging from behind our bench because he wasn't charging at our players, I think, or I don't know, but I mean, he could have easily attacked us coaches also, diba? But he was definitely charging towards our side. So I guess there was some panic there. I mean, you know what are you supposed to do? The guy has had a history. There's been,
Yeah.
I mean,
Coach-
you panic. You're worried for your lives there, diba?
Coach-
And then this guy,
yeah,
even in the
yeah.
first round against us, he also had an unsportsmanlike foul
Yeah,
already.
yes.
Prior to that, he punched a player in the game, which is why I took out some players already because the guys were telling me they were getting hurt, they were getting cheap shots. So I subbed a few guys out. Gozum wasn't playing for a while. I just took out Sanko because a minute before he got smacked in the head by Amores. So I didn't want anything to happen, and that was my goal. And so that's why this is very unfortunate for me. I just wanted the game to be over, basically.
Yeah, we were 3 minutes away, basically. We were just waiting for the final score. Actually, yun nga sabi ni Bo Belga, it was really unfortunate because final score na lang yung inaantay. It was pretty much a one-ball game for CSB. Coach, nakausap mo ba, like, I'm sure you talked to your players, especially those who were hit. Eto, si Migs Oxon, number 8, yan yung nakamask na nadamay. Sina Tane Davis also, Jimboy Pastoran. We saw Pastoran, he was knocked out cold. He was on the floor for pretty much a long time after that swing from John Amores. But looking at the videos here, did you talk to them? Were there any like previous, baka may mga nasabi from their part na nag-inat si John Amores? That's why he targeted these players, or anong nangyari? And kamusta sila? The status also, of course, more importantly, the status of your players who were hit.
Andre, I'm sure wala. I mean, you see this guy, he's fighting every game against Monhe. Lahat naman ng game ay kinakaaway siya. We've never had history of guys fighting, right? They don't even trash talk my players because we're not allowed to. We make sure that we stop them from doing any of these things. I yell at them if I ever see them trash talking any player. You could see Tane Davis, Jimboy, they were just standing there. I mean, I'm telling you, if Tane wants to punch somebody, you're not going to stand up. But because we know we have a bigger picture, we're here to play basketball. We're not trying to start fights. So, we held our ground. We just held back. And unfortunately, nasapak pa sila, diba? But so far, they got discharged from the hospital at about 3 a.m., 4 a.m. last night. Thankfully, kay Pastoran, I think it's just a black eye. Si Davis, maybe we had him have a CT scan kasi nagka-concussion siya sa punch and his jaw. Everything was hurting. So hopefully he's okay also. But I think for the most part, there's going to be no surgery. So thank God.
Coach, so just to clarify, walang mamimiss naman na games? Any of those players that were wala naman?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet
Okay.
for sure. But I hope not. I really hope not because we have a game already. Again, we're playing for something bigger, and I need every guy
Yeah.
because the NCAA is so competitive talaga this year.
Yeah, and you have CSB is doing so well as I said earlier. Yeah, kumbaga, this is the year that you have a chance not just to make it to the Final Four in the number 2 spot right now in the team standings, but you can make it all the way. Coach, is CSB management considering filing charges? I also saw Mancom member Dax Castellano yesterday. He was also trying to, be there and talk to a Mancom member of JRU, Mr. Paul Supan, or at least yung mga players na inatake. Are you considering, like, diba? I'm sure because these are kids. Like, are the parents considering filing, some charges against John Amores?
Initially, I wasn't sure, but I believe so. To be honest, I got calls nonstop from a lot of people. Actually, even you look at the sentiment online, everybody wants us to file charges. But one of the players who told me their parents are telling them that they should file charges. Kasi syempre, I mean, if you're a parent, nakita nyo walang ginagawa yung anak nyo, matamaan siya ng ganun. How would you feel, right? That's not exactly nice. And it's okay. Maybe it would be more tolerable if it were an isolated incident, but this has happened in the past. So I think something needs to be done, diba? So I believe they will, but again, I leave it up to the higher ups and to the players. We'll just try to continue to give them guidance.
Well, Coach, let's continue this conversation later. We'll talk about your next game. Will be it's a big one against the Perpetual Help Altas. Stay where you are, Coach Charles Tew. Again, we're speaking to CSB head coach Charles Tew regarding the incident yesterday with regards to John Amores and that game against the JRU Heavy Bombers. We also reached out to JRU management regarding the incident. I was able to speak to Mr. Paul Supan, Management Committee representative, and Mr. Supan tells CNN Philippines that they will be releasing a statement soon. Stay tuned to Sports Desk only here on CNN Philippines. We'll be right back. Sports Desk only here on CNN Philippines. Again, our top story, that incident yesterday with CSB and JRU in the NCAA caused the game to stop. 3 minutes left in the game. CSB was up by 20, and our guest today is College of St. Benilde Blazers head coach Charles Tew. Coach, we've gotten that out of the way, the incident yesterday, the unfortunate incident. Let's talk about your campaign here in Season 98. Pwede ka na mag-smile, Coach Charles, kasi tungkol naman sa magandang magandang season niyo. Coach, you're currently...
Wala pa.
I know. You've always downplayed every time nakakausap kita. Sabi ko, Coach, ganda nilalaro mo. Sabi mo, job's not finished yet. Wala pa kayo na-accomplish. But you're currently number 2 in the team standings, right behind 2-time defending champs, the Letran Knights. You're currently 10-3, 10 wins, 3 losses. I'm going to ask you this question. Are you satisfied with how you guys have been playing up to this point this season? You lost to Letran twice, first round, second round. You lost to EAC. Are you content with where you are right now, Coach?
Well, I can't complain really. But to be honest, I can get over losing to Letran twice because they are the defending champs, and you can see them in the games. We gave our best, and they just really beat us. But the loss against EAC still haunts and disappoints me. I really felt that's not a game we should have lost, and that's no disrespect to EAC, who I've said I thought would be dark horse contenders. At the start of the season for the Final Four, but to have that happen in the situation where they were a winless team, nothing was going right, they just lost their best players, and then we don't play the game the right way, we don't respect the game, and we get beaten. That's what still stinks me, and it's still a very close race in the Final Four, and especially for the top 2 spots. So that one game that we should have won could be a big difference, especially with what just happened. So that hurts me, but I'm hoping we can still find ways to win despite whatever mess we're in right now.
And your next game will be against the Perpetual Help Altas. Before I move on to that, Coach Charles, in your next game against Perpetual, I know it's really tough, especially after that incident yesterday. I want to talk to you about Will Gozum. I've been asking you about him, and we know this kid ever since in the juniors sa UP. He was already, kumbaga, standout. And then he moved to UP. I didn't pan out there pretty much for Will, but here you are. Will Gozum is an MVP frontrunner. I will be surprised if he doesn't win the MVP award, but it's not really up to me. But your thoughts on Will Gozum's development and growth as a basketball player, especially from the juniors and then from the UAP, now here in the NCAA. He's just pretty much dominant, and he can, sabi na nga, he's ready for the PBA.
Oh, for sure. I'm happy for Will, for his growth. I've seen him since he was in high school. Actually, I wanted to get him to Benilde when I was still an assistant, but obviously, you're competing with bigger schools. It's tough. But you have to give credit to Will. He really put in the work. All of this was because of the hard work he put in. He understands or understood that he has a lot to improve on. And it's interesting because, I asked him at one point during this season, if he thought he'd be playing this well. And even he said, no, he didn't. because even the preseason, he was very up and down, but that's part of his growth. That's part of his learning. All we can do is guide and teach him to play the right way, help him improve, and give him the confidence and the opportunities to succeed. But you give players the credit because they're the ones who put in the work, and I'm very happy for him, and I hope he can sustain it. I don't hide the fact that I want him to win the MVP. I tell him, I tell the teammates. Of course, to him, at least I'm happy to hear that the championship is more important for him. And I hope he will continue to do what he needs to do because, without him, I don't think we're going to win any championship.
Okay, next game, Coach, against the Perpetual Help Altas this Friday already. The preparations? You did beat Perpetual. I know they're also missing a player. There was also another issue there with Kim Alrin. But Perpetual is still a really good team with Jello Razon and Peter Pan Barcuma and those guys.
Yeah, they're up and down. They're the team that eliminated us from the Final Four
Correct.
last season.
That's
so
right.
That's to the back of our heads. This NCAA, what's scary, and you've seen it because you covered the games, that any of these teams can beat anybody in any given day. If Arellano beats Letran, diba? Aya can upset people. It happens. So you can't be too confident. They're a good team. I'm telling you, they just haven't had good luck right now. That's always what scares me. Yung biglang sa amin pa maganda yung laro nila, diba? But I hope we can stick together. I hope we can rally around what just happened. Despite I'm sure we're gonna miss some guys, but I hope we can find a way to win because they're a good team. They have some talent, as you said, sila Razon. They're all still there, it's gonna be a big game for us.
It's going to be a great game for sure. And of course, Coach Mike Sagigit, also a great coach. And hindi ko nga pinaalala na sila na yung naka-knockout sa inyo last season. But it came from you. Coach Charles, what else do you want to achieve? I know the goal is really to win a title for season 95. But season 98, nalilito na ako, season 98. But ano yung gusto mo pang, is it championship or bust from your perspective?
I wouldn't say championship or bust, but definitely that's one of our goals, to win the championship. First, we want to make the Final Four step by step. I don't think we've made it yet. And then maybe if we can, we'd love to clinch a top 2 spot because, again, that advantage is so huge in this type of tournament format. And then hopefully we can really win the championship, right? It's one of our goals, one of our dreams. But really, we just want to respect the game of basketball. We want to honor the LaSalle community, honor our school by playing basketball the right way, and hopefully gain some appreciation, gain some fans with the way we play our brand of basketball. And we just want to play hard and give it our best every game. And we believe we offer everything to God, and the rest will follow.
Well, Coach, thank you so much again for your time. It's been a while since we talked to you. Well, alam ko nakausap mo si Christine when I was away. But thank you again.
Busy ka nun ha?
Sumusunod lang ako sa yapak mo.
Thank you.
See you Friday, Coach. Thank you, Coach. And we miss having you here,
also.
Coach Charles Stew of De La Salle College of St. Benilde Blazers, reacting to that incident yesterday with JRU. Again, CSB currently in the team standings number 2, right next to Letran.